At the end of the day, the Washington Redskins made a hell of a move, getting rid of Stats Patter at quarterback. What we're talking about is, of course, Kirk Cousins. He doesn't win any games against winning teams and whatnot. This was absolutely the right move to bring in Alex Smith, that quarterback, because what he has is a winning formula. And no one can tell me what winning formula Kirk Cousins has, because he's a stats patter. He is not mobile. He cannot get out of the pocket like Alex Smith can. Kirk Cousins, he commits too many turnovers. He picks up all the yards and whatnot, but he commits too many turnovers, and because he loses the turnover too much in the Washington Redskins, they can beat the teams that commit more mistakes than they do, but they lose against the playoff teams and the teams with winning records that don't beat themselves and force you to make mistakes. And that's what Kirk Cousins does, is he fumbles and he throws too many interceptions. And what Alex Smith is an effective winning quarterback. You don't make the playoffs all these years for nothing with San Francisco and the Kansas City Chiefs if you're not doing it right. What Alex Smith does is he puts his team in a prime position to win because of the West Coast offense, picking up these mid-yard gains. You keep the defense in the sidelines. You get the defense to be able to recuperate, to get plenty of rest, and then to be really fresh in the fourth quarter. And what Alex Smith does by preventing the throws in double coverage and whatnot, and by protecting the football and taking those easy completions underneath, is that he allows the team to be in a prime position by winning the field position battle. So let's say if it's at the Washington 45, okay, Alex Smith is not going to, throw a shot in double coverage and force an interception. What he's going to do is he'll throw it away. He'll throw it short. He's going to protect the 7-3 lead, and then the Redskins are going to punt the ball, and they're going to pin the opponent deep. So what you're not doing is you're not throwing away field position by turning over the football. And this is precisely why the Washington Redskins were on top of the NFC East before Alex Smith went down. Was the defense was rested. The defense was put in position to be successful, to be able to go out and blitz if need be, because they're not short on field position. That's what Alex Smith did. Alex Smith, needs a running game, and all the Washington Redskins have got that. The Redskins have a better offensive line than the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings have a lot of injuries in the offensive line, but you cannot say that Alex Smith had a great offensive line because they've had some injuries this year. They've had some injuries with Trent Williams and whatnot. But what I'm pretty much saying is that the formula for the Redskins is successful right now. The Washington Redskins were able to be 6-3 entering the game against the Houston Texans, and then, unfortunately, Alex Smith went down. And when Alex Smith went down, it was not the same. They still finished 7-9. They still remained competitive for the most part outside of Week 17 against the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a whole other story. But pretty much the Washington Redskins have a top half defense in the National Football League. They can run the football well. They have Jay Gruden, who knows exactly what he needs in order to try to get the Redskins to the next level. And that is winning the turnover battle. That is putting the defense in the right position to win. That is bringing a workhorse, Adrian Peterson. You got some other young running backs. And then the next part is, drafting and bringing in some wide receivers, sort of like what the Baltimore Ravens did during this offseason. So overall, the Minnesota Vikings are really bad. And they're $84 million for this. I mean, that is a complete joke. I mean, I'm sure he's turned the ball over more than Alex Smith this year, Kirk Cousins. And, of course, you cannot be giving games away with turnovers. And Alex Smith, I mean, he's done better in the playoffs. Alex Smith, he scored 44 points against the Indianapolis Colts, but Andrew Luck was too much, 45 points. It was not Alex Smith's fault that they lost the game. It was Kansas City Chiefs' defense. That was the reason why they lost that game. And you cannot forget, too, that Alex Smith torched the Saints. he came back. He led a 2-minute drive against the Saints. So he's certainly capable of doing well in the playoffs, and he needs to go away from Andy Reid, who is horrible at managing the clock. And what really he needs to is some better fortune along the way, because despite going 1 for 13 in the NFC Championship game on third down against the Giants, who really lost that game was Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams, he gave away field position. So if Kyle Williams did not give back the Giants possession, then the 49ers would have won that game. And that was because Alex Smith was putting the defense in the prime position to win the football game and to try to run the ball and to be able to get cheap yardage that way. So down the line, the Redskins made a brilliant move getting rid of Kirk Cousins for Alex Smith. And what a garbage-ass move that was for the Minnesota Vikings to really bring a mediocre quarterback. And the Vikings were better off bringing in Alex Smith. I'm sure they would have won more games that way if they had him. Alex Smith and the Utah Utes. So the whole scripting and all of this going to the Washington Redskins, just showing you that this is a league of symbology. This is a league of numerological tributes. But down the road, the Washington Redskins are going to be much better than the Minnesota Vikings. And I'm sure Washington Redskins have more of a chance to win the Super Bowl than the Minnesota Vikings will ever be. So congrats, Washington. You got your quarterback. You need him back next year. And I like your team a lot, but I'll have to announce the pick for Super Bowl 54 right before the start of the year. I'm not saying it's Washington. I mean, I really like the LA Rams too as well. I really like these guys. And the rest of the teams, I really don't have a clue yet, but who knows if Carolina gets back in there, like maybe the Atlanta Falcons or whatnot. Maybe Cam Newton has a turnaround or whatnot. But those are just some teams that I like, and I'll be back for more, of course, but just want to make a video on Kirk Cousins and Alex Smith.